So the next option to discuss today is the trace route option, guys. Now this option is available as a singular command itself in the Linux terminal to figure out what hops are available between your device and the target device. So for example, if I go back to my terminal here, and in my terminal, if I run the command, let's say, oh, 1 second, there's my VMware. Yeah, in my terminal, if I run a command here called trace route, and if I give google.com, www.google.com. Now this shows me all the hops from my device to the target device, target server. So from wherever the packet jumps from one system to the other system, that's called as a hop. So it shows all the devices, all the ISP servers that it might jump to. And then it also shows the firewall that it might be jumping to before it reaches the server. So this is basically, as mentioned, to give you all the hops between your system and the target system. Quite helpful to get you the firewall IP because, again, if the last IP belongs to the target, the second last IP will always belong to the firewall. A firewall will be placed right before it to filter out all the traffic, right? So this is the command that is available in your Kali's operating system itself, guys. But what Nmap has done, again, or what the developers of Nmap have done, is they've added it as an option as well. So it gives you the same exact output. All you have to do is run Nmap and the option hyphen trace route in it. Okay. So again, nothing different, guys. So if you open up a new terminal, as you can see, this is my system's IP here. Jumping to my router here, that's the first hop. And here's the last IP, which belongs to Google. Okay, so now the second last IP could belong to the Google's firewall here, blocking or filtering traffic to reach the target server. And if I open up my terminal and if I type nmap, S capital S for synscan, and if I give hyphen trace route, and if I give the target domain or IP address, it shows me the scan results first, and then it performs the trace route option as well and gives you the list of hops between your system and the target system. So no difference at all, guys. So you can either run it as an individual command in your terminal, or you can run it as an option in Nmap. Okay. Moving forward, there's an option now called script selection. Now, this is an option which involves Nmap's scripts, guys. Now, basically, your Nmap has a lot of scripts in this location called user share Nmap scripts. So if I go back to my terminal here, let me stop this process. I'll type cd/user share nmap scripts. And now if I type ls to list out all the scripts available, you can see these are all the scripts available in that certain folder. And these scripts again perform certain operations to give you extra information regarding the services, or again, sometimes misconfigurations as well, okay, or accurate operating system information also. So there's a script here called SMB operating system enumeration or something. So if I, yeah, OS discovery here, as you can see, SMB OS discovery. So if I had to use the script now, I can copy the script name and now I can type nmap and I can run a script scan or just normal synscan first and the script scan with the option hyphen script. I can specify the script name there and I can specify the target IP. So in the last class, when we ran the Windows 7 virtual machine, we didn't get accurate OS information. Oh, what if I power this up now? 1 second, guys. Am I getting an error for this? Okay, for some reason my Windows 7 is a bit slow today. I'll have to check that out, why it is so. But again, right now my Windows 7 is running on the IP of 192.168.0.8. So if I come back to my Kali system, and if I run the scan on the same exact IP, 192.168.0.8, And now when I hit enter, carefully observe, it gives me the port results. And along with the port results here, in the end, it shows script results as well. And from that script, it got to know exactly the version of the Windows OS. So it's running Windows 7 Home Basic version. Okay. This is the name of the computer, the host name. Okay. And this is the system time, is what it says. So this is giving me the result from something called the Samba service. So on every Windows system, there's the service called Samba. And in that service, it knows it has information regarding the OS. So from that service, it's trying to fetch me these details. So similarly, there are other scripts as well, which can give you some extra information on various types of services running on the target system. Okay. So an assignment for you, if time permits, is to go to your browser and do some research on what are some good scripts in Nmaps script engine. Okay, in this location. So you can just search for useful Nmap scripts. Okay. And you would get the result list of scripts that are quite important in Nmap from this location. Okay. Moving forward, after the script scan, we have the next scan type, which is aggressive scan. Now, this is a scan which is a shortcut for three operations, guys: OS enumeration, script scan, and trace route as well. Okay, so this hyphen A is actually equal to, so if you type hyphen A, this is also equal to hyphen trace route, hyphen O, and then hyphen script selection scan. Okay, so as a shortcut, you can use it with hyphen A for aggressive scan. So if you type nmap and a scan type, hyphen A for aggressive scan, and if I give the target IP, it performs a scan on that system and tells me what ports are open and on those ports what services are running. Oh, is the machine IP wrong? It's 0.5, my bad. So if I specify 0.5 here, that scans my Metasploitable system, gives me what ports are open, and along with port information, it also tells me what services are running on those ports and what extra information can be obtained on those ports as well with the aggressive script scan. Yeah, so if I scroll up now, you would notice first things first, shows me all the ports open. So it gives me information regarding each port as well. Port 21 was open, running FTP service and exact version of FTP service. And it could also get some extra information regarding the FTP service. Okay. So here it says logged in as FTP. So there's a user called FTP on the target system. Okay. Then there is, again, FTP Anon. There's another service. Okay. Also, anonymous FTP login is allowed, is what it says. Then there's 22 SSH service running and found certain SSH keys as well over here. And if you scroll down much further, it gives you information regarding each service that is running and all the information to get about that service. And it also gives you operating system information as well here. And along with the OS, it gives you the trace route results as well. Okay, since it's in my same network, it has only one hop. It doesn't need to go outside your network. Okay. And again, it also ran the SMBOS discovery script, which we ran earlier, and it got to know the computer name and etc. Okay, so this is all aggressive scan result base. Gives you, again, important information from various script scans and again, tracer route and operating system information. So all of that combined together is an aggressive scan. It's called aggressive because, again, it sends a lot of traffic from your system to the target system with these scripts and all. So therefore, it's pretty easy to figure out when someone is performing aggressive scan. Okay, you can see it as a huge log of files, okay, or packets, okay, in the packet analysis tool. That's why it's named aggressive. Okay, moving forward, there's fragmentation option. Now, options from here on, guys, are to bypass firewalls. So your firewalls are packet filtering tools, which can block or allow a packet depending on the packet's properties. Okay, it can block the packets on the packet size, packet IP address, packet MAC address, packet's port number, packets IP. Again, I must have mentioned IP address as well. Okay, so these properties of packets can be used to write firewall rules to block or allow packets. Now, in such a scenario, if these rules are not configured in the right way, there are certain bypassing methods with Nmap. So the first method we have is fragmentation. So by default, Nmap's packet size, where every packet that is sent from Nmap to the target system is of 58 bytes in size. That's the default size, guys. But what firewalls might do is they might exactly block any packets of that size amount. So in such a scenario, you can use the fragmentation option where it divides this whole 58 byte packet into smaller 8 byte sized packets. Okay. So that's what fragmentation is, breaking down or fragmenting each 58 byte packet into smaller 8 byte packets. And this is helpful to evade some older or improperly configured firewalls. Okay. So again, you will not see any difference in the results though, guys. So results are exactly same, but internally the packet size will change. And we can check that later on in the Wireshark tool as well. So if I go -F for fragmentation and the target IP gives me the exact same results, but the packets are fragmented in smaller sizes. Please note everything is case sensitive and line right? Lowercase f is for fragmentation, capital F or uppercase F is for fast scan. Scans only 100 ports. We learned about that in last class, I suppose. Okay. Moving forward after that, we have next option called -MTU. So this is an option where rather than sending packets up to bytes of 8 byte packet, you can increase or decrease the packet size as well. So you can make it into a multiple of 8 bytes. So the packet size can be 8 or 16 or 24 or 32, any packet size of a multiple of 8. Okay, so if the firewall is blocking packets of, again, such low size 8 byte packets as well, then you can go for the MTU option. Okay, so if I go back to my terminal, and in the terminal here, if I type nmap scan type -MTU and the option, let's say 24. Okay, so now it sends packets exactly of 24 bytes. And now if I hit give the IP address here, 192.168.0.5. And if I hit enter, it now scans the packets or sends packets of exact 24 byte size. Now you might have a question, what if the firewall is blocking all packet sizes of multiples of 8? In such a scenario, you have the next option, -data length. So in this data length option, you can increase the packet size from its existing size. So by default, the packet size is 58 bytes in Nmap. So if you want to increase it by any number, by appending that data, you can use the data length option. So this is used to append random data to the actual packet. And now it can be any number, not just a multiple of 8. So if I give something like, let's say 5, then 58 plus 5, that becomes 63. So now the packet size will be 63 bytes. Okay. So data length is to add, again, certain amount of size to an existing packet. So if I type nmap scan type -data -length, and if I specify here, let's say 10, okay, and if I give the target IP, now the packet size that gets sent is of 68 bytes rather than 58. Okay, so now when I hit enter, you can see it works here as well. So these are all the options available to bypass a firewall if they're setting any packet size rule. Now packets can not only be blocked on packet size, but also on packet's IP address as well. In such a scenario, to bypass such packets, you can use the option decoy. Decoy is an option where we can specify one or more duplicate or other random IPs. Okay. And now Nmap will use those IPs instead to scan the target system. But an important point to note here is you will not be using any random IP rights. You have to use IPs which are active and existing in your network. Only those IPs will work. Okay. So firstly, to figure out which IPs are available in my network, I can come back to my terminal and run a ping scan nmap -sn 0.1-255. This gives me the list of all active devices in my network. Now, whichever device I want to scan as my target, I'll type the scan type first, target IP, let's say 0.5, and decoy-d to mention the other random IPs. So I can mention my router's IP as a decoy IP, 0.1, 0.4. That's another decoy IP. That's my base machine. And then let's say 192.168.0.6, which is another machine. So now when I hit enter, it scans the target system by using any one of these IPs instead. So it spoofs the IP address here by using one of the decoy IPs. We don't exactly know which IP that is, guys, though. We can see that in Wireshark. Okay, but for now, out of these three IPs mentioned here, it chooses one of them. Okay. And obviously, you should not mention your Kali's IP here, because if it chooses randomly Kali's IP, your packets will still be blocked. So excluding your Kali's IP and target IP, you can use any other IP in this format. Okay. So that's to bypass a firewall depending on the packet's IP address. Moving forward, after packets IP, we can also specify the port number. So if a firewall is blocking your source port, you can always mention a spoof port number with the -source port option. So by default in firewalls, some well-known ports are always allowed. Okay, so port number 53, port number 80, port number 443, all these well-known ports which run services like DNS, HTTP, or HTTPS respectively. Again, these ports are usually allowed. So you can type nmap, scan type, target IP, and you can specify hyphen source port and specify the port number, let's say 53. And now when I hit enter, it uses that port on my system to send the packets rather than my nmap's dynamic port. Okay, so hyphen source port is to manually specify the source port number of a scan. If you don't want to specify this option, this lengthy option, it can also be used with the shortcut option -G. Okay, hyphen lowercase g is a shortcut for hyphen source port. Okay, so helps in bypassing firewalls which have certain well-known ports whitelisted. Okay, moving forward, I think we discussed this option the other day, guys. Ports to specify. So by default, Nmap scans 1,000 ports. So if you don't want to go for those 1,000 ports, you can choose any port of your choice. Okay, so you can type Nmap, scan type, target IP, and specify the port you want to scan with hyphen. So if I only want to specify or scan for port 21, 25, 80, and let's say 443, I can specify those ports. You can also specify a range of ports as well. Okay, but now when I hit enter, you can see I'm only scanning 4 ports here, and the results are shown for those exact 4 ports here. Nothing more, nothing less. Moving forward, after ports to specify, there is input list. Now, this is a very helpful option, guys, when the company tells you to scan only certain IPs provided in a list. Okay, so this is usually this is something which usually happens in organizations. They'll provide you a list of IPs to scan, and rather than you entering each IP manually, you can provide the list as an input to Nmap. So you can go back to your terminal, and let's say if I write down some IPs in a text file here, open up a new document. Let's call this ips.txt. And now if I just enter some random IPs here, copy, let's say 0.5, 0.10, 0.20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80. So let's say these are the IPs I want to scan. And if they're mentioned in a list, I can just provide that list to Nmap now. So I can just type Nmap and scan type of your choice. Let's say we go for ping scan. And I now type -I capital L for input list. And now I can specify the path for the file /root desktop ips.txt. And now when I hit enter, whatever IPs are mentioned in that list, only those IPs are scanned. So 0.1 is scanned, 5 is scanned, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. All the 10 IPs are scanned. And out of these 10 IPs, only 2 devices are active and the remaining devices are down. So this is how you can scan IPs from a list as well, guys. Rather than you mentioning each IP separately with a comma or a space, you can provide the list and automatically Nmap selects that list, performs a scan from that list of IPs. Okay. Similarly, if you want to include a certain, or sorry, exclude a certain list of IP addresses, you can also go for the - exclude option. So if it is a list of IPs to exclude, you have to go for exclude file. But if it is a range of IPs to exclude, you can go for just exclude itself. So if I show you this practically, let's say if the company tells you scan all IPs from 1 to 255 except from 100 to 200. So you type nmap, scan type, entire list of IPs, and then - exclude, let's say IPs from 100 to 200. And now when I hit enter, you can see scan starts from the first IP 0.1. So if I scroll up to the top, starts from 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Goes all the way up to 99. And after 99, it directly jumps to 201. Because, as mentioned, all IPs from 100 to 200 are excluded. So goes from 1 to 99. And after 99, jumps from 201. Okay. And from 201, it goes up to 255, last IP. So this is how you can exclude any set of IPs with the - exclude option. So if it's a range of IPs, you can go for - exclude. If they're not a range of IPs, if they're individual IPs, you have to specify exclude file. So with that exclude file option, whatever IPs are mentioned in that file, those IPs are excluded from scanning. Okay, so that's the option to exclude IPs from a scan. And then finally, we have exclude ports option. So this is an option where if Nmap tells you, if the company tells you, don't scan certain port numbers, we prohibit you from scanning certain ports, then you include those ports here with this option, hyphen exclude port. So by default, when I type Nmap, and if I run a scan here, let's say sin scan on the target IP, and if I hit enter, you can see these are all the ports Nmap is scanning by default. Okay, but if I open up my terminal now, and now if I say, if the company tells don't scan ports like 21, 25, 80, etc., then I can now mention the same scan, but with the option hyphen exclude hyphen port. And now let's say if I exclude port number 22, and then 25, and then 80, and then all ports, let's say from 500 to 5,000. Okay. And now when I hit enter, you can see it starts from 21, but doesn't show 22, goes to 23 directly. It has excluded 22. So after 23, it shows 53, doesn't show 25. After 53, goes to 111, doesn't show 80. These ports are actually open on the system. 25, as you can see, 80, 22, these are open, but yet it doesn't show them because we have excluded them. And after 139 or 445, you see, it directly jumps to 5432. No ports from 500 to 5,000 are visible here. So this is how you can exclude any list of ports or any range of ports from the hyphen exclude port option. So this is how you exclude ports as well. And that concludes the entire Nmap options list, guys. So again, as mentioned, a quick recap on all the options we have covered. Capital O for operating system details, lowercase o for output file to export the output to any certain file of your choice, verbose to give you a detailed output, fast scan to only scan for 100 ports, timing mode to increase or decrease the speed of the scan, trace route to give you the list of all hops from your system to the target system, script scan to select a certain script and get extra information from the scan, aggressive scan, a shortcut for trace route, operating system, and script scan. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Fragmentation to fragment packets into 8-byte sizes. MTU to fragment packets into 8-byte multiples of 8-byte packet sizes. So it could be 8 or 16 or 24, etc. Okay. Then data length is to append data. So to add any certain amount of random data to an existing packet size, you go for data length. Decoy to spoof the IP. Source port to spoof the port number. -P to specify ports to scan. So if you want to scan ports of your choice specifically, rather than letting Nmap decide it, you can go for ports to scan with -P. Input list to give a list of IPs to scan. Exclude to exclude a range of IPs. Exclude file to exclude IPs from a file. Exclude port to exclude certain port numbers. See, these are all the options available with Nmap, guys. There's tons and tons of other options as well, but the ones which I've discussed are the most used ones in real time. So if I type Nmap -help, these are the entire list of options available. Okay, so we've discussed a few important ones out of this: SS, ST, SU, SN, SF, SX. Okay, and then -P for ports to specify, -, exclude port, -F for fast scan. Okay, and then -SV for version scan. Okay, and then -SC for script scan, also included with -, script. Okay, capital O for operating system detection. Okay, -S or -T for timing mode. Okay, so these are all the important options we have discussed. Again, there's others as well, but as mentioned, they're not that used practically. The ones which I've shown are the ones which are regularly used. So I would recommend you do some research, try to learn some more options or more scan types as well if needed. If not, you can just focus on the ones which I've shown. Okay. So yeah, that concludes the entire Nmap topic, guys. Any questions, any doubts? G1, Shekhar. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So as mentioned, we have packet analyzing tools. So these tools are capable of capturing all the packets every single day. So you also have SIM tools, as mentioned, security incident and event management tools. So these tools also get the log of all the packets coming in and going out of the network. So they have network logs. So definitely you cannot do this without the permission from the organization or without their authorization. And as mentioned, when you perform the scans, you do it with their permission by switching off the firewalls on the target system. If the firewalls are on, you don't get accurate results. So you need to let the company know that you're performing the scan. Is that clear? Shekhar? I'm so sorry. I will, Shekhar. I'm just in a bit of a rush today. As mentioned, I've been a bit hectic day. I have to take my mom to the hospital now. So it was a bit rushing today. But from next class, I'll take it much slower. I'm sorry about that. Uh, yeah, again, from next class, we'll be going into the gaining access module, guys. So again, much more very complex practical classes from here on. So again, there won't be much theory from here on, guys. It's going to be all practicals itself. So therefore, there'll be no presentation slides as well. Some basic notepad file data is there. That's more than sufficient, but it's more of practical sessions. And I promise I'll be going a lot more slower as well. Today, I'm just in a bit of a rush, as mentioned. Had to attend to another emergency right now. So yeah, that's why I've rushed a bit. But as promised, next time we'll be going a lot more slower, guys. Apologies for the rush today. Oh, yeah. Did I share the last class recording? I can't remember if I've shared that recording or not yet. Then if I, yeah, I must have shared to all of them at the same time. Right, cool. Sure, guys. Oh, you got it from Durga Soft G1. Acha, acha, acha. Okay. Okay, okay, cool. No worries. I'll share last class recording. Yeah, yeah, sure. 29. It's Wednesday. I did take a class on Thursday, I think. I didn't take it on Friday, but I did take a class. Hmm. Okay, I'll inform the institute guys to upload the class for Thursday session. No worries. And yeah, yeah, I should be having it, Shekhar. If I check my, sure, sure, definitely. 29th, yeah, I have 29th, I have 30th recording. Sure. I'll share all the recordings, guys. No worries. Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, that's that, guys. Nothing further. Yeah, G1, you were asking a question. Any questions?